In an era where open-world games are a dime a dozen, Xenoblade Chronicles X soars above the pack. There's an unparalleled feeling of freedom and exploration as you fly your mech suit across a massive planet of Mira, the size of which dwarfs many other RPGs like it. While its story about humanity finding another home can be forgettable at times, an already engaging battle system is bolstered by the dramatic quality of life improvements this definitive edition makes, resulting in an RPG unlike any other.
We call this planet Mira. You won't find it on any star chart. But it's our new home.
Xenoblade Chronicles X starts off with the human race escaping Earth after getting caught in the crossfire of an alien war. Your ship, the White Whale, eventually crash lands on Mira, and it falls on you to find its scattered remnants from the freshly settled city of New Los Angeles. It's a passable story in a vacuum, but it's also the weakest of the Xenoblade games overall. That's partially due to its customizable silent protagonist who is completely devoid of any personality. That blank slate means the story lacks the same emotional impact as the other games in the series.
You can launch it right from your comm device. Give it a try.
Thankfully, the side quests really help pick up the slack with fascinating world building and compelling character development for the rest of your party and even many NPCs. For example, as all of humanity was forced to band together in order to survive, one quest explores the topic of discrimination against other alien races. It offers insight into how humans interact with those races on Mira and how friendships can be forged across racial boundaries outside of Earth. Completing any mission increases the affinity levels of whoever is in your party at the time, which can then unlock heart-to-heart events for them. These are special scenes that provide essential bits of extra backstory. They flesh out characters and show us a side that the main story doesn't. Once a character has a high enough affinity level, you'll also unlock their personalized affinity missions, and the rewards for completing these are some of the most substantial available. The main draw is that your protagonist will learn exclusive combat skills called arts that otherwise can't be obtained by leveling up. It's an excellent incentive to learn more about the supporting cast while also getting stronger. One standout is the engineer Lynn. Her affinity mission details how integral her engineering skills and passion were to the White Whale. While she would much rather sit on the sidelines, she understands that she must also fight when needed, which is why she wields a giant shield and Gatling gun in battle. Personal moments with your crew like this really help balance out the fact that your bland silent hero doesn't have any of their own. The definitive edition even includes brand new recruitable characters, as well as new story content that is well worth seeing. Without going into spoilers, this content is doled out at an even pace throughout the 50 to 60 hour campaign, making its inclusion feel natural while adding even more longevity to an already massive game.
Except, as you might be aware, that area is teeming with hostile indigens. Basically, I need you to protect me from danger long enough for me to complete my survey.
While your main character may be bland, one thing that's certainly not is the open world. From the lush grassland of Primordia to the overpowering lava fields of Kaldros. There are so many gorgeous landmarks scattered throughout Mira that keep exploration exciting, and the definitive edition boasts some nice visual improvements to its models and UI alike. While the only hub area for human activity is New LA, everywhere else is still absolutely filled to the brim with life. Both small and giant monsters are crawling in every direction, but what makes them stand out is that some are docile while others are hostile. The low-level bee monster might attack you on sight, but that level 40 dinosaur-like creature could just walk right past you, minding its own business. Each species has its own habits and behaviors, which means you have to stay alert as you explore instead of just mindlessly meandering around like in many other open-world games.
I was just looking for a worthy opponent.
It's also impressive how well the world scales up with its mechs, called Skells, which unlock once you get far enough into the story. You can move faster while in them compared to running on foot, even before they gain the ability to fly later on. But those giant monsters that were peaceful before may now be hostile to you.
Time for some owning.
That means sometimes it's better to run to a destination instead of driving your Skell there, depending on what's standing in your path. This constantly changes the dynamic between you and Mira's environment, keeping exploration fresh. Combat in the Xenoblade Chronicles series is in real time, but it is distinct from other battle systems as it feels much more like an MMO. Both enemies and allies fight with basic auto attacks, and you have a row of more powerful arts to choose from on the bottom of the screen. The order you use them in is similarly important. For example, some offensive arts can inflict topple onto enemies, which is a status condition that causes them to fall to the ground temporarily, while others do more damage to toppled enemies. There's a lot of synergy to play around with that adds quite a bit of strategy to the action. Another unique feature is the soul voice. RPG characters love to call out the names of their attacks and spout quippy one-liners as they fight, and Xenoblade Chronicles actually turns that trope into a game mechanic. You and your allies will occasionally shout out specific phrases that suggest certain actions, like using an art that inflicts a status effect, which is color-coded purple. Following that suggestion will then activate a purple soul voice, giving you extra bonuses like making the enemy more susceptible to status effects. It's immersive while simultaneously leaning into the genre's more absurd elements. While that's all just as fun as it was in the 2015 original on Wii U, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition also adds a bevy of quality of life improvements. One substantial addition is the quick cooldown bar, which fills up over the course of battle as you use auto attacks. By spending a portion of the bar, you can completely bypass the cooldown of any art and use it right away. Need extra healing and can't wait? Use your healing art, then quick cooldown to save your allies from getting knocked out. The bar builds fairly slowly, so it's important to pick the right time to use it, but it can instantly turn the tide of battle when you do.
Smooth recovery.
Perhaps the biggest adjustment is that you can now conveniently change out your party members at any time, anywhere from a separate menu. While this is a basic feature of many RPGs, the original version instead asked you to memorize where every single character was within New LA and go talk to them in order to swap. Sure, maybe that process was more tied to the world around you, but it was also painstaking and incredibly annoying, especially if you were out exploring, since you'd have to return to New LA to change your lineup. This single change is monumental, and quite frankly, is enough to make the Wii U version feel completely obsolete on its own. On top of that, characters not in your active party will still gain XP now, reducing the tedium of swapping people around even further. In the Wii U version, bench members had to be brought in and leveled separately, making for some very uneven party compositions. The Definitive Edition enormously cuts down on unnecessary grinding, which is certainly appreciated. As for customization, each party member has a specific class that can't be changed, like Lyn as a shield trooper, but your custom character can switch their class at will. By going down different class trees, you can level up their ranks to learn new arts and passive abilities. That makes the protagonists feel like they belong in a Fire Emblem, where characters can mix and match different skills, and it's fun to play around and find the perfect setup that fits your playstyle. You can also fight in your Skell, and Xenoblade Chronicles X scales its battles to them just as well as its exploration. Their overinflated stats and power make mincemeat out of smaller enemies, but they are perfect for facing off against Mira's giants and other bosses that would otherwise crush you. Battles in your Skell play out similarly to the ones on foot, except the Skell weapons you equip determine what kind of arts you have. It's another added layer of depth and tinkering that pleases the min-maxing part of my brain.
I promise I'll keep it all. Catch some of this. Nailed it. Now nail it.
Xenoblade Chronicles X was already one of the Wii U's best games, and this Definitive Edition has escaped the destruction of its old home like the white whale and settled down nicely on Switch. Quality of life improvements here are enough to justify another trip to Mira alone for veteran players, and it's the perfect opportunity for newcomers to explore its beautiful landscape for themselves. Its combat systems are deep and engaging, and the massive open world never got old to run, jump, or fly across. Its main story may not quite live up to the standards of the series, but a likable cast of characters and plenty of compelling side missions means Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is still an adventure worth riding back home about. For more RPGs, check out our reviews of Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii or Avowed. And for everything else, stick with IGN.